Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to be testing out some Nullsec ratting. This is then with a Torpedo Rattlesnake, a very risky maneuver here, but I want to try this out. There's two reasons for me wanting to try this out. One is that this is just a lot of DPS is able to be done in this fit here, so I think it's just pretty cool overall. A second thing is that this has a bit of a historical element with me, because I used to do torpedo ratting in a rattlesnake a very long time ago in Nullsec, in my Alpha Clone days, in fact. If you look in my Evil 9 video, scroll at the very bottom, or type in like torpedo ratting rattlesnake, then I was actually doing this and it was working really well. I was thankfully in a system that was not at all particularly occupied, so it always worked out really well, it seemed. But here I am again in the Torpedo Rattlesnake, and this is now with my Omega skill, so I'm able to get a pretty hefty amount of DPS, as you can see here. So the strategy here is going to be very similar to how I've done with the Apocalypse, which I showed not too long ago. The idea here is that we're going to be aligning to these different entities or different structures in the system, so that we are able to then always be aligned out, so that if we were to get someone to warp in on the grid, then we can always just quickly get out of here at all times. I've got a lot of kinetic resist to be able to resist the Goristas on a pretty blinged shield module here. The fit is a little bit pricey, but it's not super pricey, and if you consider the Rattlesnake being already by default a very expensive ship here. Let's see how this goes. We just want to get into the middle, because I want to get where they all tend to spawn, and then after that I'll then start aligning out to the relevant structures, so that I don't so that I can just keep being a little bit safe. I've got these two warp points that are sort of in opposite directions, so that I can just keep aligning to them. But I want to get first to the center of this, and the Rattlesnake is doing over 2k DPS, and this is still not as much as a Marauder would do, but the great thing here is that unlike a Marauder, we're not stuck with the Bastion. So that's the good upside with being able to use then the Rattlesnake here, and in that way there's some upsides then, because then I'm able to do this in maybe a little bit more dangerous systems, such as this one here. I don't know if it's the best idea, probably not a good idea to do in 200% battery risk modifier, but this actually makes that we get a lot more ISK in terms of like how much ticks we get. So that's why I think that it can actually be worth doing it here, even though we've got less DPS. But we just need to now keep an eye on aligning to the relevant spots here. So let's just go with the torpedoes here. Have the drones attack these plunderers. We're now aligning to warp 1. Is it possible for my heavy drones to attack these guys? Do they have enough application? Just about. Not really that great in applying, actually. Maybe we should help them a little bit. See if we can help them a little bit with we can put the triple precision script here. Then when we get a bit extra precision, it's pretty difficult to actually kill these little frigates. But I think it's best that I just take out the battleships first, so that they don't go away. And then we can just alternate, go to then warp 1 here. So then we just go back and forward between targets or warp points. And it's unfortunate. We could perhaps make some, you could say, bookmarks in the system that are sort of on opposite directions, because I think all the anomalies in the system tend to spawn in similar locations, like at the outskirts of the system. So we could try to make lots of anomalies or bookmarks around the anomalies that sort of enable us to always have a good warp out point at all time. Let's see now, is there anything? There's nothing I can see. These bookmarks don't seem to be giving us so good locations, it seems. Let's go a little bit back here. We're getting a little bit too far away from these guys. I want to just see on the probe scan, just keep an eye on that D-scan as well. But we are then here. So we can either go here or here. So probably want to just get in the corner first, then we just keep going out. Maybe align to this warp 1. I'll just take out the battleships first so that they don't go away. Oh, that's good to have actually, that precision script. I think actually I'm able to just take out these guys with the precision script before they're even able to get away. I can maybe focus on have the drones take out these warp scrambling guys. That's going to be a bit of a pain to have to deal with. getting a bit closer here. Because we're now going to collide in the rocks. Don't want that to happen. And we're able to destroy them before they're even able to like do anything. These battleships, they're not even able to get far away from me. So to be honest, it would have maybe been a good idea to go the grappler, because then we could take out these frigates really quickly. Would have been an idea actually. Then now I go super fast, because now it takes a bit of time for the frigates to get taken out. Someone's asking about tips with this rattlesnake. Hard for me to give out tips now that I don't feel too comfortable in doing this, because this thing is pretty powerful here. I'm gonna perhaps have to reply to him later. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wreck these rattles. Or wreck these Garistas. We're not even needing to use a single shield boost, because we've just got so much DPS, or not DPS but resists in our ship. Align to this warp out here. How does he know that I'm in a rattlesnake? Maybe someone who is looking in the D-scan, or maybe cloaked up here. Our resistors are so high that just our passive shield is enough to sort of negate a lot of these guys, and plus we do so much DPS by default. But a grappler would be really useful here. These guys would fall down really quickly if we had a grappler. Those drones would make quick work with them. Now they're able to hit them from time to time, but still it's not that much. It's really difficult to warp because we're so close to all these asteroids. Or not warp, but align. Stay aligned is very difficult. This would be a lot more safe if we had cruise missile rattlesnake, because then we'd be really far away, be able to just align at all times, no problem. A Higgs anchor could be an idea, because those things are able to make you really go really slow and still stay aligned, so then we wouldn't have to keep realigning all the time. How much do they take, those guys? Large Higgs anchor. It hardly takes any calibration. That's good. Then we suddenly got 29 meters a second. Oh, now it goes directly into the rock. That's really annoying. Easy. This scrubby crew is doing ECM on me. I can't lock anything. Finally, I can go with these battleships. We waste all the volleys there because it had its shields destroyed before, but because the ECM got us, then he was able to regen all his shields, unfortunately. And dreadnoughts can also spawn here in the last wave, so it's also a good idea to get a line just in case, because those guys will absolutely wreck us. The tactical camera on, or maybe just the overview here. We can see the lines of where everything aligns. Okay, no dreadnoughts, thankfully. We've not even got a tick here, and we've destroyed the whole haven. We're that quick at destroying these guys. I think we might have skipped the first wave, because I do remember that there weren't that many NPCs in the first wave. I think that there usually are a bit more. Tank is no issue whatsoever. Just got 3 tank modules. Okay, whatever. Just because the resists are so powerful. Resists are a great thing to have in EVE Online, especially when you're against these single damage NPCs. Then it just becomes so easy, and it's no problem. Tanking is no problem whatsoever. Yeah, we are chipping slightly through our shields, but it's okay. We're destroying them so quickly, it's like a non-issue. And we've got decent range as well. 28 kilometers seems to be perfectly fine. There we go, and basically all battleships are destroyed now. You get much quicker destruction of these guys compared to the Apocalypse we were using before. We've also got the right damage type as well, which helps a ton. One shot. And one shot. And then we just put like the torpedo just one shot at a time there. Are we able to destroy him in one go? Yep, it's so easy. Look at that, just one shot. No problem, because we got enough applications, so we just one shot there, one shot there, and then one shot there before the drones are able to get him. Great. That was a quick haven done there. I would like to try this out with the cruise missiles. I think that'll be a lot more relaxing because it's hard to align properly here. Unfortunately, with the cruise missiles, we'll have a lot less DPS. We'll get like knock off 500 DPS minimum. That's a bit of a downside. Also, just the time it takes for the cruise missile to hit will be a bit slower as well, since we'll be really far away. But could help a lot with the aligning situation, because it feels very unreliable here to align. I mean, when there's no neutrals at all in the system, then it feels a lot safer. But it's pretty difficult here. So that's enough for now. We did a bit of ratting in the Rattlesnake, went really smoothly. We got almost 2.1k DPS. Really powerful ship here. Does not give a crap about these Garistas. Just goes straight through. Really like it. Happy about this ship here. I remember my really expensive Alpha Clone fit I used to use a long time ago went for like 1.6, 1.7 billion ISK, but that was before when the Rattlesnake cost like 300-400 million ISK. Now the Rattlesnake costs like 1 billion ISK, so modules, I'll say, is about similar price to what I used to use a long time ago. And this is something to keep into consideration, guys. We did this for like 12 minutes, so there's still like potential for more room with like 20 minutes in terms of like the full tick. We've got 30 million ISK, so probably we could push almost 40 million ISK per tick here. Take that into consideration with the bounty risk modifier, 80 million ISK every 20 minutes. That's going to be over 200 million ISK an hour. A lot of ISK, a lot of ISK. So that's enough for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.